Welcome to the Learn and Memorize Tarot Cards podcast. My name's Carrie, and I'm your host. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Suit of Wands. The Suit of Wands is all about your passion projects. It's about what lights your fire, being bold, taking chances, and it's also a suit of action. The first thing that I want to talk about is a little bit about the structure of the cards. If you're new to tarot, each suit has 14 cards. You can think of it as similar to a deck of playing cards. So it has a 1 to 10. Each one of these cards, sorry, they're not quite in order, but each one of these cards represents a journey. So the ace, or the number 1, is where the journey starts, and number 10 is where the journey ends. So if you think of all those different things that are happening in your life, maybe my project is publishing a course. Maybe my project is this podcast. Whatever it is, it has a defined start and a defined end. Next, let's talk about the court cards. Think of these like the face cards in a deck of standard playing cards, except for there's 4 of them in tarot. Now, these represent the people in your life and how they impact you. So each card represents a different level of mastery. I have an entire podcast that talks just about the court cards and the wands, so I will just leave it at that for now. The first thing that I'd like to talk about is some of the symbolism that's common across all of the wands cards. And of course, that's the wand itself. So you're going to notice on the wands cards that there are sprouting leaves on each one of the cards. So those leaves symbolize new growth and potential. And isn't that fitting for a wands card? If some of the images that you see in this card are not specific just to wands. Now, on many of the cards, you're going to notice that the ground is uneven. This is one where you got an idea and you hit the ground running. So you're going to notice that a lot of the cards have this uneven ground. And that is really just what the journey looks like. It's not bad. It's just a little bumpy with peaks and valleys. Now, also on the wands, you're going to see some cards that have a nice solid ground. So as we move through that journey, we do find those times where things just level out and we figure it out. The next thing I want to talk about is the astrology that's associated with the Suit of Wands. Well, no surprise here, it's going to be the fire signs. So that represents Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Now, the fire sign traits are themes of enthusiasm and boldness. They get an idea, they move it into action, and they are on fire. So this is great. So now we understand that the 1 through 10 is about a journey on a passion project. We know that the court cards are people around us and how they affect us. The astrology that's associated with the wands cards are Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. So how do I apply this to a reading? Well, let's talk about that next. When you see wands, some of the things to remember is that you are dealing with a minor arcana. So that is something that is temporary, that's going to start and end. You're also going to know that it represents fire and passion and that action. Now, if you have a spread of cards with lots of wands, then you really know that that's what's going on for that person. And on the flip side, a reading with no wands just really says that they're lacking that. So at the end of the day, how did I memorize what the Suit of Wands means? Well, for me, it was a little bit of a word association, so pardon me for how weird this sounds, but it helped me. So here's what I did. When I saw swords versus wands, I didn't know what meaning I was associating with the card. So I came up with this little jingle that's still in my head all these decades later. Wands are feeling things. So if you think of feelings like I'm going to do it no matter what anybody says, if you think of those feeling things, that's your wands. Swords is logic. These are thinky things. So feely things and thinky things is really how I memorized that fundamental truth. Getting that sorted out in my mind helped me remember. And the repetition. So as I was doing more tarot card readings just for my friends, even using the little book, the whole process of just sticking with it made things easier. And I'm still learning. So the bottom line, to memorize tarot, keep practicing tarot. Thank you so much for listening.